Hi, I'm Riley Leggett.
I'm Sumaya Biasi.
Recently, we attended the In the Company of Women Luncheon, and we interviewed middle school and high school girls about teen violence they noticed in Hartford.
And today we are discussing the answers of the youth and how they have noticed teen violence in Hartford. The people we have interviewed are around ages 11 to 18, and we just wanted to get answers from people who are experiencing these increases in real time and they're around this kind of stuff. So we just wanted to know their opinion and how they feel about it.
And we're going to be discussing those answers today.
So, what age did you notice an increase in teen violence?
So some of the girls actually gave in their answers that they noticed teen violence from elementary to middle school. They noticed it peaking in those grades or just observing it happened in those grades. So, what do you think about that?
I think that all kind of just stems from how as we grow up, we definitely get more of an access to social media. We definitely feel the need to, I guess, boss up a little more.
Yeah.
Like the people that we hang around, maybe some people feel like, oh, like they're too cool for me. I have to fit in. I have to be on the same level as these people.
Yeah.
And sometimes that even goes as far to acting in teen violence.
Yeah.
It's really just peer pressure, what we're seeing online, that kind of stuff. What do you think?
Yeah. I think definitely in middle school, you're trying to find your group and you're trying to find your people. And sometimes that forces you to assimilate to some groups that aren't what you should be assimilating to.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, say you're the quiet kid, you don't really talk much, but you see a group that, is just in things that they're not really supposed to be in, but that gives you some sort of, I'll say, it gives you a group to, want to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So you start doing things that you're really not supposed to. And you know that you don't come from that, like your family, you don't come from those type of actions, but still, like, you want to assimilate in. But also some of those kids, you might not even know that their families, they're having struggles at home. So the only result they, can result to is teen violence and engulfing in these things that aren't that really are an escape for them, especially mentally, physically. You're trying to escape from a situation. So a lot of these situations are reality for kids in Hartford.
Yeah, for sure. And I also feel like along with having more access to social media,
Yep.
kids also feel the need to, I guess we all grow, our personalities bigger.
Yeah.
And I feel like especially since the main area that people said that they saw teen violence in was mainly middle school, maybe a little bit elementary school, and
Yeah.
then the start of high school.
Right.
Especially high school, people will feel the need to act out in high school because
Yeah.
sometimes it's their last years of school.
Exactly.
They're growing up, they're starting to become adults.
Mhm.
So it's people will really do anything to make themselves seem like a bigger person when they're really not.
Yeah. Agreed.
How often is teen violence discussed at school?
I feel like at school, teen violence isn't really discussed as much as in my school, especially since it is a public white institution, it's majority white.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really talk about teen violence. Specifically, I grew up in Hartford, so I spend most of my time in Hartford, I feel like, and I'm always at certain events, just celebrating my people and having a good time. So I'm in the mix, of course.
Yeah.
So I see what's happening, and I know that it affects me and it affects our whole community. But we focus on mental health. Like, we have a survey, and it's called DESA, and we get questions like, how are you doing mentally? What's one goal that you achieve? Like, questions like that. We also had a very nice lady. She came in, and she does work around social work and mental health, and she informed us about different disorders and helped us navigate those, and we got to ask her questions,
Mm-hmm.
Especially if our friends may have been struggling. And we just get that opportunity to talk about mental health more so, not about teen violence, because a small majority of us do come from Open Choice, which is a program that allows us to go to suburban schools. So if we are experiencing that, it's really not an open space for us to talk about it. And we're kind of going through that situation by ourselves. And I really do wish more we, as Open Choice kids, did come together, because being in that type of environment, especially, can be hostile. especially as a minority. I just wish we did come together more because we do separate, and a lot of us get into the mix, and
I mean, I guess they kind of like expect for that to be checked up on at home
yeah,
when that's not always the case. And I feel like, you know, it's not as talked about as it should be.
yeah,
Like, I don't, like, you kind of like covered most of it.
yeah,
But it's just, teens do go through a lot.
yeah,
And it's lacking.
yeah. I get upset a lot of the times too because I feel like within my community we don't really recognize mental health. Like we'll recognize like AIDS and all that other types of, things like that, diseases, all of that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to mental health, which can slowly kill you, like
Yes.
depression and all those other factors, I feel like we don't talk about it because I feel like it's never really been accepted to talk about in our community. And I wish we did acknowledge it as a problem because many kids, many teens go through it, especially adults and especially Black women in America. We go through it. And I wish we did talk about it more because a lot of us have to be strong. And what about times when we have to be vulnerable or we want to express our emotions? Like, I feel like we should be able to express ourselves.
Yeah, like I feel like also schools kind of expect like whenever some kind of like teen violence happens, it's really only like teen violence is really just only brought up when something happens when that shouldn't be the case. I kind of feel like like schools only think that, oh, like these kids are acting out, like I don't know what's happening, I don't know what's wrong, why are you guys acting out, when really it's just as simple as, why aren't we talking about this more? Why isn't the school checking up on my mental health? Why aren't we getting to the issue? Why aren't we getting to the root of the problem? It's really, schools are really always confused on like, oh, these kids are acting out. Oh, why are we fighting this and this and this? When really the root of the problem is no one's checking up.
Yeah.
Like that foundation isn't always found at home, so school should be that foundation for these kids.
Exactly.
Like kids at school should always feel like, oh, I'm able to talk to this person, I'm able to talk to this person about my mental health instead of having to go out and act in teen violence. You know?
Exactly. I agree.
Do you feel like support programs exist to support teens in violent situations?
I do feel like there are some out there, but like it's not very public. Like it's public, but the publicity isn't there. And I also feel like there's a certain reason to that. I feel like the reason that support programs are as big is because teens who really need it the most, they kind of feel like, oh well, if I'm part of this support program, then like it's embarrassing, you know, when it's really not embarrassing to join a support program. So teens just don't join it. You know?
Yeah. Also, I feel like many of the times they're also embarrassed by bringing it up to their families, especially if it's not encouraged by families or parents to check up on their mental health. A lot of us, we feel the pressure of grades. We feel the pressure of sports. So bringing up our mental health is the very last thing some of us would do. And I feel like just that mindset we need to get out of. We do. I feel like parents should definitely encourage their kids to seek programs, but many of them don't know where to look. It's really not put out there for them to look for programs for their teenagers or their kids surrounding mental health because, I mean, mental health is really the last thing we look at. If it's something physical that happens to the kid, then we start getting, antsy to help.
Yeah.
But I feel like when it comes to mental health, that can, like I said, slowly kill you in the process. We don't, look at that issue.
Yeah. I definitely feel like, especially in like African American families, like sometimes mental health, like it kind of seems like this like made up thing.
Yeah.
When mental health is like a serious thing for teens.
Yeah.
So when teens do show signs of poor mental health,
Yeah.
they're like, oh well, like you can't feel this way. Like you have a roof over your head, you have food, you like I'm caring for you. Not everyone has that. Like some parents say like, oh, I didn't have that, so you have no right to feel that way.
Right.
When like secretly everyone's struggling with mental health, but you can either choose to be that parent to help your teen
Yeah.
like get there,
Yeah.
or you know, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
I don't really know what else there is.
Right. I think definitely some generational curses need to be
Yeah.
broken. Just poor mental health and bringing it down the line of generations and generations. We're just going backwards. We're not getting anywhere, and I feel like it's 2026. Like we need
to do better.
Yeah, we need to do better.
Have you or someone you know experienced teen violence?
So many of the teenagers that we interviewed did say yes when it came down to if they noticed or if they had a family member or a friend who had died to teen violence or who was in teen violence or participated in it. And that just goes to show it's
Yeah,
like
it's a problem.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to think that some of these teens or some of these families really think like, oh, I guess I'm kind of like immune to to violence or teen violence, but like it could really like teen violence. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It can like hurt the people that you love the most.
Yeah.
And then also like these teens, some like in middle school,
Yeah.
like they're also kind of experiencing teen violence when they're always fighting and stuff. And it's like, especially in middle school, like people in middle school, people feel the need to instigate all the time. Like, oh, you're gonna let this slide, or you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. Like people don't realize like even small things like that can grow into something bigger.
Yeah.
It hurts people, it harms people. It doesn't only hurt them physically, it hurts people's mental health.
Yeah.
Especially.
And I feel like a lot of just like your friends who you hang around, they're encouraging this behavior. Yeah. And also, sometimes the families are even in gangs and you're like, oh, I have to follow behind their legacy. And you don't. But honestly, it's encouraged like, by the cousins, by the aunties, uncles, especially the uncles.
The generational expectation.
Exactly.
It can be a lot.
It can be a lot. So a lot of kids and teens probably feel pressure from that. Also, it kind of gets down to a root cause. When you're just like looking over history and just, over your community, honestly, a lot of people will result to teen violence because of poverty. Yeah. A lot of people, I'll see kids, stealing cars. I know my mom's car got broken into because a couple of teens decided it was a good night to break into my mom's car.
Yeah.
I was actually petrified. I heard their voices, but I didn't want to wake up.
Yeah.
But it was crazy to see, and I just say like, they earn money from it, of course, stealing cars, and they have a car. I mean, who doesn't want a car? But no, I'm not encouraging that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. But a lot of our community does result to teen violence and violence in general because of poverty. And I feel like a lot of the times for our kids, it's an escape. And that's sometimes it comes down to the last result. I mean, they, you say, oh, well, why can't they just get a job? But in our community, that's not, if it's encouraged and if everyone else is doing it and you see a group of people doing it, why wouldn't you want to fit into that group and do it as well?
Yeah.
And it feels like the last result because, I mean, it's encouraged. So a lot of kids and teens are resulting to these types of situations, especially to earn quick money. Quick money, a lot of people go down the rabbit hole with quick money. So, yeah.
What do you think is influencing violence in the teenage community?
So a lot of what's influencing teenagers with teen violence is their access to social media. Specifically a show called Baddies. We all may know a lot of teenagers like to tune in. And yes, while it can be entertaining, it does encourage us to always be on 10. And that is, in the real world, that is not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because you're acting out and you're actually doing a disservice to yourself because you're actually, by jobs, you're posting on social media. You might have a public account. When they go to do the job search and they see you in a fight video.
That digital footprint is going to be crazy.
The digital footprint is going to be crazy, right? So, you are doing a disservice to yourself and it's not going to put you in a good place. Your school record is going to show you fighting. It's going to show you disrespecting teachers. Yeah. And it's not cute, honestly. It really isn't. That goes for even boys and girls. We don't need to be fighting. We don't. We're all here in school to learn, to get educated, and to get out. That's our purpose. We're going towards our careers, and we need to be that future. We need to be the light to the world, especially now.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, yes, we can enjoy entertainment, but also it doesn't apply to real life. This is social media. It gets to a point.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, because like you definitely are doing a disservice to yourself, because like baddies, like that's just the name.
Yeah.
Like you're belittling yourself to this name that's not good.
Yeah.
Like if you're constantly be like, oh, like I'm a baddie, I fight, I stand on 10 toes.
Yeah.
Like no, you are a young woman who
Right.
needs to know how to explore herself.
Yeah.
Who needs to like stand up for yourself, yes, but
Yeah.
who needs to, I don't know, you need a bigger definition than just a baddie. Like you are a young woman. You need to express yourself as a young woman, not like, come on.
Yeah.
And then also another thing is it's in like taught in general, either it's schools and families, there's not a lot of like conflict resolutions that are getting taught. Like usually it's either talk to a teacher, when that doesn't always work.
Yeah.
You be the bigger person.
Yeah.
Which works, but it's irritating.
Yeah.
And or you're not gonna let someone talk to you like that.
Yeah.
Which is usually the violent route.
Yeah.
So all three of those options, they don't always work.
Yeah.
And that always like pushes these teens into this like mindset where like, oh well, I can't really do much about it, so I'm gonna use my hands, or I'm gonna use some other kind of physical violence.
Exactly.
When it can be solved a lot better than that. And usually it's not over something big. Like usually it's over the smallest things. Hence why I said earlier, like instigators, your friends, like they're constantly allowing that to keep happening. Your friends can be a big influence as well, because that's the people you hang around with. And like if your friends are telling like, oh, you're gonna let this slide, oh, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, well,
right,
that's an influence.
That's an influence. Yeah. And a lot of us do fall to peer pressure. We can admit that. Yeah.
Like peer pressure, people often think that peer pressure is something where it's like it's like obvious peer pressure, like, oh, you're gonna do this or you're weird. No, usually it's on deeper psychological levels.
Exactly.
Like,
they're manipulating you in your face.
Literally manipulating you in your face. Like it's a lot.
Yeah. I also did a capstone project, actually going off the point with what's influencing us. I did a capstone project on the shortage of tween media. And I touched on how a lot of tween girls, to be specific, we had like Justice, like where we would go get our cute, girly, bright clothes. And we had like Disney Radio. We had Fresh Beat. We had Yo Gabba Gabba. Like all those, it was a stage. We had Hannah Montana. Yeah. And it was all for that intermediate stage, specifically ages like 9 to 12, 9 to 13 is when that's defining that tween age. And that stage is important, especially because you're finding yourself. Teenage years are more so for identity finding, like finding your identity. Mm-hmm. But this intermediate stage, you're transitioning. Like you're finding your people, you're finding what you like. And I feel like we don't have that anymore. Mm-hmm. It's either like shows and media for elementary and then high school. Like where's that intermediate stage? Where's that stage for teens and kids who want to engulf in things that are recognizing them as a person, as a tween? And I feel like many of us are growing up too fast. Way too fast.
Oh
way
my God.
Too fast.
Like that, and that's what I'm also talking about.
Yeah.
Like that, like going based off of what you said, like that intermediate stage.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing tweens do what high schoolers would do.
Right.
Like it's just why? Because they're stuck in between these two walls.
Yeah.
And either you stick next to the wall of a teen or you stick next to a wall of a kid. Yeah. And especially in that intermediate stage, like I said, that peer pressure, you don't want to seem like a little kid. So of course they're going to want to resort to the more teenage stuff. They seem bigger than what they are. Yeah. So definitely that's really important. More like tween activities where they can explore themselves, they can find themselves, and then they can eventually transition to their teenage self. You know? Not just automatically jump into like what teens are doing and stuff. Yeah,
honestly, sometimes I want to be an entrepreneur just so I can literally just make a tween space. Like I'm so tired of people questioning why teens are at malls and acting out. Well, what spaces do you have for us that aren't $100? I'm wondering. Like,
Yeah.
I'm tired. Like, we don't have spaces where we can go. When the carnival's coming around, it's like $60 for a whole sheet of ticket. Like, who has that money?
No.
Who has that money? You know, it's just, but it's inflation, and that is a whole different topic.
Yeah.
But I still just think that we need more teen spaces. And if you continue to question why we're acting out in these spaces, like fighting at the Bushnell,
Yeah.
well, I mean, give us spaces where we can fully express ourselves, get our zoomies out, you know, teens.
Yeah.
We're like I said, trying to
really
make us grow up
don't-
too
yeah.
fast. Like, violence makes us grow up too fast.
Yeah.
That isn't for us. We're supposed to be learning. We're supposed to be the next career people. Like,
Yeah.
we're supposed to be
We are
making
the
a
future.
difference. We are the future.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, tweens, like, they don't really have like much space. So it's like,
Yeah.
I know tweens, they really just don't mean any harm. It's it either like, it's just the space where there is no space.
Yeah.
That's what causes it. Like, we don't mean any harm.
Yeah.
But we have no space to explore ourselves.
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna explore ourselves in ways where it's not right. But
Right.
it's like, we don't have the space to properly do that.
Yeah.
Or it's not established
It's
properly.
not established properly, yeah. I just feel like we do need more spaces, and especially I see a lot of tween kids with drunk elephant products and retinol that's like has ingredients that aren't proper for your skin.
It's not for your skin.
It's not
sweetie.
for your
It's
skin.
not.
It's not. It's not. And
It's
we're getting
not.
rashes,
Yeah.
burns, and all that. And that's what I'll just go to say, like, it's a lot of this things that are out in the world, media is just not for us and not for tweens especially. And violence isn't for teens. We're supposed to be out, you know, making a difference. So I just feel like a lot of these things are growing us up way too fast, more than anything. And we need to, if anything, it's just like enforcing this. I'll say, like, my mom was talking to me and she was telling me about how, like, in her day they didn't have like, they had their own issues. Every, you know, generation has their issues. But she was telling me, like, when she tells me about things, it just makes me, like, she had to grow up too fast because she had to take care of herself.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, I feel like it's just stemming, like, we just keep going down every generation. Like, it's always something, a factor that's making you grow up way too fast. Even teen violence was back in her day.
Like, each generation, like, that gap just keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger as generations keep going.
Exactly.
And people don't really do much to close that gap.
Yeah.
So it's just going to keep getting bigger.
It's just going to keep getting big. I don't think anyone actually wants to do anything.
Yeah.
I really don't think they do. And it's because these big corporations, I'll say, like, the ones selling guns, probably they're benefiting from it. So, of course, hey, let's keep it going. Let's keep putting drugs and all this types of other substances and encouraging this behavior with songs and rap songs and baddies, shows like that. Let's keep enforcing it. Let's keep on encouraging the behavior so that we can just keep on making teens, you know, honestly, people die to it every day. Like, and I feel like if they're benefiting from these big corporations, it's just going to keep on happening.
Mm-hmm.
What impact do you think family has on teen violence?
I think that, to touch up on the family thing again, I think that family does have a big impact on teen violence. And I think especially it's like a generational, sometimes like cultural thing where often like African American families or African families often feel like, hey, if someone hits you, you hit them back.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, kind of like common sense, but
right.
It's like, we need to, I feel like family, they don't really know the ways of teaching their child. Like, hey, like, instead of hitting someone, like, you guys can talk it out. There's always words for something. You can never lack words to fix something.
Yeah.
And, you know, things never get solved through your hands.
Exactly.
So it's just this thing where, like, family, you feel the familial pressure of like, well, my family put me up to this standard of standing up for myself, and if I don't, I'm a coward.
Yeah.
So it's like they often feel the need to, like, stand up to this familial, like, or generational expectation.
Yeah.
When really it does more harm than it does good.
Yeah.
It's just it's a cycle. It's
Exactly.
a cycle. You fight. Your family tells you, hey, they hit you, you hit them back.
Yeah.
Fight again. Cycle.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to say, like, back on, like, with the family members and them being in gangs, like, it's if you see other people in your family doing, like, you look up to them because, I mean, if it's an older brother or a sister or an uncle, you look up to that person and you see them, with their laser beam gun playing with it, or them, smoking or other substances like that. You'll look up to that. And of course, we're going to look up to our family. Like, that's our family. That's our blood. That's our love. We grew up from them. We've been around them. That's our environment. So, you're just required, not really required, but
it's inescapable.
It's inescapable. It is. Especially gangs. Like, you get jumped into a gang.
What am I gonna do?
What are you gonna do? You're stuck. Like, that's it. I mean, the most you could do is run away, but it's your family. Like, that's your environment, and that's what you're used to. You become used to it, and you become prone to it. So it's just a cycle, like you said. And yeah.
I feel like okay, also, when you're out with your family and a dispute happens between a stranger and your family, it often gets defensive. Sometimes it gets loud. But that's also, since that's your family, you're going to feel inspired by these actions. So every time you have a dispute with someone outside, you're going to be like, oh, well, do you want to take this outside? Do you want to do something about it? And it's just like, first of all, it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
Second of all, it's not healthy. Like, you can always be like, hey, like, we don't got to do this. We can go our separate ways. We're strangers at the end of the day. We don't, like, there's, like I said, there's always words to fixing it. Words are the Band-Aid to a wound.
They are.
And fists are just, it opens the wound even more. So it's just like, it doesn't even matter where you are. It can be in school. It can be out, like, it can be like I said, like in a grocery store. Like, your family has a big impact on what you grow up to.
No, that's good. That's powerful. I also was gonna say, like, I've always been had a good representation of, like, what Black love was. My family, I've always been around, like, a supporting, loving family.
Me too.
I love that. Yes, as we should. Let's keep on doing that. Let's keep on making families like that. So when I went to, like, a PWI and I was around, like, people that didn't really look like me, it is a hostile environment. I was getting bullied every day, honestly. And I just feel like that it was kind of breaking down who I was, and I didn't really see, like, love. Like, it wasn't love. It honestly, like, I was hated. Like, I was hated. And anytime I would get, like, bullied, I would respond with words, arguing. I would argue back. I would it was a point where I would be pointing in this, like, person's face, yelling at them, screaming at them. And honestly, it wasn't getting through because it's ignorance. And I didn't realize that at the time, but it was this one day where I decided I wouldn't say anything back to, like, my bully. Like, I wouldn't say anything back. And when I went to my next class and was in the hallway, he apologized to me for the first time ever. I think me not responding, like, it really, it does something to people. It makes them actually take back and, like, oh, she's vulnerable. She's not responding. So she must not be entertaining the behavior.
I'm not getting the reaction I want.
And that, honestly, it breaks them down because my bully was getting bullied for being on the heavier set side. Ooh. So we were actually we were both in the same situation.
Yeah, in the same boat, different situations. So him just apologizing to me,
I mean, I don't know if it was real. I don't know if he meant it, but it was a milestone in, like, my journey as like a Black person, like a Black girl, especially at a white PWI.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I think. Like, family, like, when it comes to teen violence, like, family can also have a good impact. Like, some families can be like, hey, like, you don't do this. Like, we don't condone violence. You don't fight your siblings. You don't fight the people outside.
Exactly.
You use your words.
Right.
That's what some family can have an impact on, like, teen violence. Like, if you know what true love is from your family, then you would know how to, like, decipher the same difference outside. Like, it's just it's that principle.
Exactly. I was just gonna say, like, I would come back home to like I would see my family and they would support me and they would love me. So honestly, me getting bullied just made me feel love where I came from and love who I am as a person even more. It didn't make me feel any less Black than I was. I actually felt like I came out of something and expressed resilience, and I was happier than ever. And honestly, that just makes me want to help people who go through struggles even more, because I chose not to resort to violence because simply I didn't use my words or my fists to react.
Yeah.
This was Riley Leggett.
This is Sumaya Biasi.
And thank you for tuning in for Studio 135 for another episode of Teen Violence.
Stop the violence, keep the peace. Woo!